Do you guys ever wonder what it is that possessed Activision to create the Call of Duty HQ? We were told when it was first released that it was going to be a hub so that way we could launch all the new Call of Duty games and have it be this seamless transition, a place where all your games were in the same space. But instead, all we've gotten is strange controversy after controversy, deliberate crashes. Everything has just been a huge mess. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this might actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because we might actually be seeing for the first time, actually not even in that long, Activision, Call of Duty, potentially doing something to not only lie to their investors, but also lie to their player base. Ladies and gentlemen, please strap in, because we are about to dive deep into this thing. So, in case you guys don't know, Activision and Call of Duty, recently have been facing a lot of backlash. Their player numbers have been diving. We're already at the point where the amount of people who are playing the game actively are the same to less as the amount of players that were playing when Modern Warfare 3 was just nearing its end of its life cycle. So in other words, it's as if Black Ops 6 had just never existed. And now what we are seeing, guys, is that Call of Duty on platforms such as Steam, for example, is actually still running even when you are not playing the game. So as you guys can see right here, I'm going to post up some pictures. Credit goes to Blame Truth for taking these. You guys can actually see that he is running in this very first picture Call of Duty HQ in the background. You can see right there on the task manager, it's one of the open apps right up there with Google Chrome. However, in this next one, after he goes ahead and shuts down the game, he went ahead and checked, and you can see that Call of Duty external crash handler is still processing in the background. It is still active, and it is still counting as the game running. He even went to his Steam and could see that it literally stated Call of Duty was running as an app, despite the fact he was not even playing the game. Guys, what does this mean? It means that what we're seeing on the Steam page, on Steam charts, those numbers talking about, oh guys, Call of Duty numbers have been going down. Right now it's as if Black Ops 6 never existed. The player base is the same amount as people who played MW3. Yeah, but here's the thing. Think about it for a second. At least maybe when MW3 was out, those were actual players playing the game. Now we have to contend with the idea that Call of Duty runs in the background, so it is inflating the player numbers, making you perceive that there are more people playing the game, when in reality, these people are not even playing the game. They're not touching any lobbies, and the game is still running in the background on their computer. I don't know how much more scummier you can get, so that way you can literally force the game to run in the background of your customers just to inflate your investors and try to impress your shareholders. Because that's ultimately what this comes down to. They're being lied to, it seems like. Because honestly, the way that this can only be perceived is that it is deliberately being done in order to inflate the Steam numbers. And if you check the Steam reviews, it's not just one person complaining about it. There are multiple people talking about it. As you can see right here in the screenshot on the screen right now, there are people talking about the external crash handler, how they don't like it running in the background. And as if things could not get any worse, chat, Call of Duty potentially is spying on you. And I don't know how else I could have phrased that in a way that did not sound creepy, but that is literally what might be happening, because apparently some people have been reporting. Obviously, take this with a grain of salt, right? It's not been verified 1,000%, 100%, take all this information with a grain of salt. But apparently some people have been reporting that Call of Duty has rights and access to your camera settings on your computer for people on PC, even when you're not actually playing the game. So potentially they are literally seeing what you are doing and then trying to, I don't know what they would do with this data, but Call of Duty is the data, masters. They love harnessing all this data and then trying to do, who knows, shove it straight up their ass or something. I have no idea, but they're literally potentially spying on you. So that way you can then, jump into a lobby where it's catered to people who maybe have the same skins that maybe have to do with the interests that you have on PC. Obviously, that sounds like a huge stretch. It sounds like a fan fiction. Don't take it from me. Take it with a grain of salt, please. This is just something that some people are reporting. It's not something that has been proven at all in the slightest, but I thought it was something, worth talking about. And aside from that, as if Call of Duty already couldn't get their act together, going back to the Squid Game event, if you guys actually look at the executions that they have in there, so obviously the Squid Game event, people made such a big deal about it. People also started, getting a little bit concerned about it because it seems like Call of Duty is going the Fortnite route, they're just not even trying to hide it anymore. They're just going the Fortnite route, doing all these promos and all these collaborations with other people, and it's not like they haven't done it before. Call of Duty has done this before, even going all the way back as far as 2013 with Call of Duty Ghosts when they ran the Predator DLC. Who remembers that? Man, I am getting old. But at this point, Call of Duty has been running the Squid Games event that they started not too long ago, but they can't even get that right. So as you guys know, Squid Game event has the free track and the premium track. On the premium track, they have an execution that is supposedly something that looks really cool, and you can take down your opponents in style with that animation. But the problem is, the animation does not even work. How does that even happen? How do you program an execution in the game that does not actually execute? That's the one thing it has to do. And there are clips of people trying to perform said execution in Warzone, and the dude is just laying on the ground after the execution animation is done, and he just shoots him down. But then you realize, oh wait, Call of Duty has no QA testers. Because honestly, at this point, it really does look like it. It really does look like it. Call of Duty is in such disarray, they cannot get the simplest thing for the people who actually do pay the premium fee to work properly in their $70 game. So all the investors are being lied to, players are potentially being spied on, and on top of that, the people who do shell out the money for their game aren't even getting what they're promised, which is an execution that should at least take down the player and tally up that extra number on your kills. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and I did not think I would be reporting on Call of Duty for the second day in a row, but you know what? We're going to be doing this as many times as we need to until we can hammer the point home, because we as consumers have to take a stand and let them know enough is enough. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to go ahead and take that with a grain of salt, but Call of Duty hopefully will actually go ahead and make a turn for the better. It has to, because how else are they going to continue down this line? Pump out another game like, say, this year is predicted to be Black Ops 7 or whatever. It's going to be like the sequel to Black Ops 2. How are they going to go ahead and pump that game out, knowing that half the fan base really despises their practices? Something has got to change. Whether they announce the return of, the loss of aggressive skill-based matchmaking, or EOMM, whatever the hell you want to call it, and they announce the return of classic matchmaking, ping is king, as it was in Black Ops 4 and prior, and then they announce that as a feature, I have no idea, but they got to do something, because if they do not get their act together, people are going to start catching wind, and the fact that the game already runs in the background, and this is something that they do not want to address, because Activision is famously known for never addressing anything. They rather call you insane as a consumer before admitting that they may have potentially made an oopsie, because they're too good for that, guys. They're too good for that, but not you. You're probably the one at fault. So, before they actually go ahead and pump out the next game, they got to take a hard look in the mirror and realize, is this what I actually want to go ahead and make? But you know what? They don't care, because as long as they still get the money, they're going to still keep pumping this crap out to you, because you're going to keep eating it. So what do? You got to speak with your wallet, guys, because we have got to send this message clear. We have had enough as a community. Call of Duty has been on a spiral since Modern Warfare 3, and this might actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back. If Activision is looking to be a company or corporation that actually lasts for more than the next 5 years, at this rate, they got to step up their game, and they got to do something that caters to the fans. And when it does happen, we're all going to see it as, a wounded dog trying to lick its own wounds. But you know what? They got to do it. They got to apologize, and they got to come through and give the players what they want, because that is the least that the Call of Duty community actually deserves. It's gotten so badly to the point where we used to be split. The Call of Duty community used to be split on what their favorite game mode was, on what their favorite game was. Now we are all united by one thought. Black Ops 6 is in disarray. Call of Duty since 2019, arguably 2020, because 2019 Modern Warfare, a lot of people still did enjoy that one. I wasn't really too big of a fan into it. I still went back to BO4, but a lot of people still did enjoy that one. But so arguably 2020, but let's just round them all up. 2019, when the Call of Duty HQ came out, has been in disarray and just has been on a steady decline as of 2022 with the release of Modern Warfare 2. Arguably even before that with the release of Vanguard. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully Activision actually does listen. If for whatever reason the algorithm blesses me up again and the Activision devs, whoever, even one person actually watches this, please go ahead and take all this into consideration. And we're still not done. And we're still not done. So as if that weren't enough, guys, and I know what you guys might be thinking, what else could they possibly be doing? We have gotten some reports, and obviously I did get this from Blame Truth, Nero Cinema. Actually, I think it was just Blame Truth. They were talking about how they were looking into some of the situations that were going on with the marketing for Call of Duty and Squid Games, and they did not recognize any of the people who were in the Squid Game marketing campaign for Call of Duty as big content creators. And apparently, given an inside source, not one of mine, but from an inside source, so remember to take all this with a grain of salt, apparently Call of Duty has actively been avoiding to bring out their big content creators to their marketing campaigns because they know that if the content creators are not going to be loyal, then they do not want to run the risk of giving them the spotlight just to tear down their image. Imagine that. They are so manipulative that they still need to manipulate every single aspect, every single nook and cranny of this game. They do not want to give the actual voices of the COD community a space to go ahead and talk, or at least seem in their marketing, because they know that they won't do it. They know that these big content creators are not going to be loyal, so they do not even want to run the risk. They're not even sending out the invites. So then apparently this source continues on to state that the people who they are inviting are small content creators. They're kind of fairly new to the Call of Duty scene, at least most of them anyways. But the reason why they're there is because they are loyal and they are willing to do anything because apparently they know they don't belong there. Those are not my words. That's just from what this quote-unquote source has stated in the past. But wow, if that is true, how scummier can you get, bro? How manipulative can you get where the only way you can get some positive PR is by getting Jimmy Two Thumbs from the corner of the street and then bringing him on to Activision at Treyarch and say, hey, Jimmy, go ahead and talk about how amazing we are. Absolutely jerk us off with this information so that way we can go ahead and show that out to our shareholders and investors and try to delude the entire Call of Duty community into thinking that our game is a masterpiece. Well, guess what, Jimmy Two Thumbs? Don't do it, Jimmy! Don't do it, Jimmy! They're gonna trick you, Jimmy! They're gonna take your COD points, Jimmy! Don't do it! It's not worth it! And guess what? Here we are today. So we're about to find out, with everything that's been going on, is this finally going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? I did not anticipate to make another Call of Duty video right after the last one, but here we are. And I will make as many as needed because we have to take a stand as a community. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hopefully you guys can go ahead and give it a like or a thumbs up, or maybe if you guys did not enjoy it, give it a thumbs down. I do appreciate all the feedback. I take it all into consideration. I hope you guys have a constructive, argument or conversation in the comment section down below. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And with that being said, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out.